Hey guys, what's up? Jburton here, and today I'm bringing you my PvP guide for Frost DK, patch 6.2.3. This will include talents, glyphs, stats, and macros, which the macros will be in the description below. Alright, let's get right into it. First tier, Plague Leech. That's what you want. Gives you Death Runes. Death Runes help with Death Siphon or On-Demand Burst. Plague Leech is much better than the other options. Mandatory, in my opinion. Next tier. These abilities aren't really all that good. They're actually all kind of crap. Anti-Magic Zone, strictly PvE. Purgatory, 3-minute cooldown, and it only lasts for 3 seconds. Pretty bad. And Lichborn, it at least gives you 10% leech if you can't benefit from being immune to fear. With that said, if you're versing a Warlock, well, that's another annoyance you have of, being unCCable. It's always good. So this is the least of the crappier ones. Next tier, you're either going to want Asphyxiate or Chillblains. Asphyxiate if you don't really have any stuns on your team. Otherwise, if it's going to DR, it's just a waste. You might as well just keep the Strangulate and go Chillblains. Most of the times I do actually go Chillblains just because of that root. It's a big deal because when your Death Grip's on cooldown, people will get away from you. This helps stop that. Next to your Blood Tap, just on-demand Death Runes to help your Death Siphon or on-demand Burst. Not much else to say. Mandatory. And then, of course, Death Siphon. Conversion got nerfed hard. It's not really all that good now. Death Siphon is the way to go for your healing. Now let's see here. Desecrated Ground. It's great to have a second trinket, and when you stand on top of it for 10 seconds, you're unCCable. When you're about to get a kill, you don't want to get CC'd. Don't just blow through this since you have a second trinket. Save it for a smart time. You could go Remorseless Winter, but it is dispellable before it even gets to 5 stacks. It's a little iffy. Desecrated Ground, in my opinion, is the way to go. And then, of course, the last tier, I highly recommend you just go Necrotic Plague. It's easy to maintain. It makes your Plague Leech easy to use. It spreads easily. And when it gets to its top stacks, it actually does some heavy damage. Now, if you're running a Herb Dirt Burst comp, like in 2v2s or something, you could go Breathless Sindragosa, but I don't recommend it. Alright, let's move on to Glyphs. Now, these Glyphs, I don't move them around. I know other classes, if I'm versing this comp, I'll switch these Glyphs out for this. But when it comes to DK, I pretty much just use these. The Green Bubble, really nice because it makes you immune to CC and damage from spells. So whenever you pop your Green Bubble, people will not attack you. They're done. They're like, oh, well, it's a waste. So you'll get the most benefit from this. So there's a good chance you'll reduce your Green Bubble by 50% on the cooldown. If you're versing maybe like Warrior, DK, Holy Paladin, you may not get a whole lot from this. But most of the time I do use this glyph anyways. Now, Glyph of Icy Touch, pretty much required. A Dispel, really important. Especially since you'll find yourself in a situation where you can spam this like 4 times to just strip somebody completely of hots and buffs. Really important glyph. Now this one, Dark Simulacrum. This is the game changer. This is what makes people worried about versing Frost DKs. When you spell steal that clutch Cyclone, that big polymorph, that Pally-handed protection, or that Monk Green Bubble, and the list goes on. There's so many important things you can steal that just really alters the course of the match. It's because of this glyph, which reduces the cooldown by 30 seconds. A big deal. Now, it takes some practice getting used to using this ability correctly. You don't want to accidentally spell steal a Life Bloom or a Riptide. You gotta make sure you land those important abilities. So you gotta use it when you think it's coming. Don't just ever randomly use the ability, because they're gonna see it and they're gonna be like, oh, hey, have this rejuvenation, have fun. But when you use it correctly, this ability is so amazing. So that's why I believe this glyph is required. Now in 2v2s, you'll find yourself where you don't need this glyph. You'll be versing, some type of double melee DPS that don't really have any spells. Obviously you're going to switch that out. In which case, if you are versing those type of comps, go with Glyph of Empowerment. When you use your Empower Rune weapon, you'll get 30% of your health. It's a good little swap there. Other than that, though, I really don't switch out Glyphs. That's about all I use. Pretty simple. I would take Glyph of Resilient Grip for minor Glyph. If they're immune for some reason, it'll reset. Like, for example, I'm pretty sure if you use this on somebody who's cycloned, it'll reset. I haven't tried that recently, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Okay, well anyways, that's Glyphs. Now stats. This is really simple. You just want mastery. Your mastery is pretty powerful and you just want to buff that up as much as possible. Your 4 set piece is kind of crap, which is good. That means you can just get your 2 set piece and then just focus on mastery. Your second stat you want besides mastery is versatility. But if you can't get a piece of gear with mastery and versatility, that's okay. The main focus is mastery. You just want to get that as high as you can. That's it for stats. Pretty simple. You do want to be using dual wielding weapons. For some reason I have a 2-handed weapon equipped here. Dual wielding is where the damage is at. Alright, so let's move on to macros. I'll just briefly talk about them, but I'll include all of them in the description. You mainly just want macros that are for death gripping different targets. You don't want to have to take the time to click a target and death grip them. Same thing with dispels. You don't want to have to click on somebody to dispel them. Usually you'll be dispelling the target you're attacking, but that's not always the case. And then of course Dark Simulacrum. You need to be able to quickly use it on whoever is, it's important to use it on instead of just clicking it. Other than that, I don't have that many macros for DKs. Alright guys, well if you enjoyed the video, please comment, like, or subscribe. It'll help me out a lot, and I'd really appreciate it. Alright, take care guys.